This is my grandpa, Andy Anderson. He's my dad's dad and he's over 50. How did you meet Grandma?
We were both working at Ray's Cafe. I was dishwasher slash cook. I think I was dishwasher at the time. And she was a dishwasher slash waitress some of the times.
What was my dad like growing up?
He was a good boy. He wasn't as mean as his brothers. He was always nice and more quiet than everyone else.
What were your parents like?
Oh, my dad, he liked to play music, play the guitar and sing. His whole family was musical. They would, whenever they'd get together, they'd all get their musical instruments, their guitars and everything, and sit around playing music and just having a good time. And my mom, she loved to knit and crochet, and she used to make rugs. They would take old pieces of clothing and they would rip them into small strips, and she would sew them together, and then she'd have it's called a loom, and she would make rugs with looms out of old scrap material. I can remember up late when I tried to go to sleep, she would be in the living room and she'd be ripping cloth, and it would keep me awake. You know, sounded really horrible, that ripping a cloth.
Yeah. Did you get in trouble a lot?
I did a little bit.
What was the worst thing you did?
Well, I don't know if it was the worst thing I did, but one time my mom was going to sit down at the table, and I snuck around behind her and I pulled a chair out from under her as she was going to sit, and she fell on the floor, and I think she got hurt, and she was really mad.
Do you have any favorite stories from your childhood?
My childhood was pretty uneventful. During the summers, I would go hiking almost every day up in the mountains east of Nephi, and I'd go rabbit hunting. I'd trap squirrels. In the wintertime, we'd go sledding. Stories. We used to go, I remember one time we was camping up Pole Canyon, me and my brother, and we were just pretty young, and my dad took us up there and left us up there with just a tent and our sleeping bags and we stayed there for 2 or 3 days. We'd catch fish in the little stream up there, and we just had a good time. Loved the outdoors.
How did you propose to Grandma?
We were sitting on the couch. It was Christmas Eve, 1970. We were sitting on the couch down to her parents' house. It was Christmas Eve, and we had talked about marriage before, and I had just picked up the ring that day, and I just asked her if she'd marry me.
What is your first memory of Grandma?
First memory is the waitress dishwasher and the cook dishwasher were really close together, and I would see her as she would be bringing the trays of dishes in and setting them around and washing cups and stuff like that at Ray's Cafe.
What's the happiest moment of your life?
There's several. One was when we got married. Another one's when we got sealed in the temple, and another one is the grandkids and kids.
Yeah. What's the saddest?
Oh goodness. I'm not sure. One of the saddest is when we found out your dad had leukemia. That was a really sad time.
Who were your favorite relatives?
Oh gosh, I had some cousins that lived just across the street from me when we were growing up. They moved to Oregon when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I missed them a lot because I played with them every day. And I would sit in the window at our house and I'd look out, and every car that came down the road I would think that was them coming back, but they never did.
Do you remember when your last child left home?
Well, yeah, the boys all went on missions, and so they were kind of left and came back. Mindy got married in between while they were on their missions. And so it was just kind of a gradual thing. There was no just hard day. They were all gone.
What's your favorite story of Grandma?
Of your grandma?
Yeah.
Oh goodness, I don't know. Some of them I probably can't tell. About the time she was getting up for work really early, and she got dressed kind of funny on her way to work. She was really tired that day.
Okay. Thank you, Grandpa.
Okay, love you, Abby.